21st, Black Veil Brides are set to release their Bleeders EP, which is their first release on Spine Farm Records. It's their first EP since 2022 when they released The Morning, and it's really looks like the route they're going right now with releases. Their last full-length record was The Phantom Tomorrow, which released in 2021. And so it's also the first time in a while they've released a record not in the fall. Last few times we had October, November, um, October. So it's been a while since they released something not in the fall. But this one's a short but sweet release. It's an EP. If you don't know what an EP is, it means it's a very short release. It's not going to be 10, 12, 15, 20 songs. It's going to be more like 3 to 5 songs. And I don't know what happened with Black Veil Brides. It's a good thing though. Over the last few releases, they've really kind of turned a corner presentation wise, musically, and almost seems just personality wise and attitude wise. The Black Veil Brides we have now are completely different than the Black Veil Brides we saw with We Stitch These Wounds and Set the World on Fire, and even Wretched and Divine. Seems like a much more mature, I guess I don't want to say centered, but it's a very different Black Veil Brides. I wasn't necessarily the biggest Black Veil Brides fan when they first came out, but I slowly started to become a fan of Black Veil Brides over the years. And I want to say Wretched and Divine was the first release they had that I really started to really find some meat and potatoes and stuff that I really enjoyed. Um, and then they released The Morning. Well, The Phantom Tomorrow, that one was a really fun record. I remember listening to that album, and you could not find a song that you didn't like on it. The whole thing was just, it was bigger production wise, just a lot more massive. And there was just something different about it. I really enjoyed that record. But then when they released The Morning in 2022, holy shit, Savior 2, that song put them on another level, really showcased Andy Biersack's vocals, how good of a singer he really can be, and how great of a songwriter he is. And it's always been there, but I don't feel like it was as obvious. Now let's get into the Bleeders. Bleeders, the EP, they've released the title track already. So the title track is very anthemic, very big. It's, it's just it's a big song. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's an anthem. It is tailor made for the festivals and for the arenas. You can hear a sold out arena of 20,000 people singing that chorus so loud that it drowns out the band. And maybe it's already happened because the song is out and they've been playing some festivals, but you just picture a sold out arena, a sold out stadium singing that song back. You almost picture like a U2 crowd. Speaking of U2, the next 2 songs and the last 2 songs are covers, which is fine. It's an EP, and it's the second cover is Sunday Bloody Sunday from U2. And like I can tend to be a little critical when it comes to covers, especially with established bands. I don't mind it too much on albums, but when it comes to live, if you've been around for 10, 15, 20 years, you've got a catalog, back catalog. I don't really like hearing covers. But when a cover is done well, you can't deny it. And they really do a good job with Sunday Bloody Sunday. They stick true to the original. They also make it their own. They don't go too far to alienate the U2 fans. A U2 fan would still love the Black Veil Brides version of Sunday Bloody Sunday. It's just really well done. Hats off to Black Veil Brides for doing that cover because U2 is a fan base. They don't like when you mess with the band's songs. But even a diehard fan base can appreciate and has to respect and appreciate when a band reimagines a song and does a good job of it. That's exactly what Black Veil Brides did with Sunday Bloody Sunday. Now, my friends, good God, I absolutely hate musicals. Ask my wife. I hate musicals. Jesus Christ, I hate them. But as a journalist, I can admit when something is good, even if I may not like it. Which I know sounds weird. I know that may not make sense. Um, but their cover of My Friends from Sweeney Todd. First off, I didn't know that that was a Sweeney Todd song because I haven't seen the movie. Um, I remember showed it to my wife because I'm like, this song is just so dark, eerie. It's weird. It's just different than the rest of the Bleeders. It's an anthem. It's cinematic. It, and Sunday Bloody Sunday is just so it's got that upbeat U2, vibe, and then bring it down. And I'm like, this just seems like Broadway musically. And she's like, well, that's because it's from Sweeney Todd. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Um, I don't like the song because I don't like musicals. I don't like the movie. I've seen it, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? They do such a good job on this cover. If you love Sweeney Todd, you're gonna love what Black Veil Brides have done on this cover of My Friends. Um, if you don't like Black Veil Brides, but you like Sweeney Todd, you'll love it. If you love musicals, you'll like it. It's obvious it makes sense that Black Veil Brides would do a song from Sweeney Todd because I remember reading somewhere that Andy is a huge fan of Sweeney Todd, I think. Maybe it was in the bio from the promo, I can't remember, but do remember reading that. Now, I'm not trying to say I know him because I don't, but it fits. So a Sweeney Todd song fits Black Veil Brides. It just does. You can't describe it, can't explain it, but you know what I mean. If you're watching this video, you're probably a fan of Black Veil Brides. You know what I mean. It no pun intended, it bleeds over. There's a lot of crossover there. And I think the fans are going to love that cover. If I had to give the Bleeders EP an out of 10 rating, which I have to, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. There's not a lot to it. It's only 3 songs, so you can listen to this thing a lot in a short period of time. You can really digest this, which I have. Lyrically, Black Veil Brides is operating on a whole nother level than they ever have right now. They're on fire. They're writing some of the best music, some of the best lyrics, some of the best music, and creating some of the best art they ever have. We've seen this band grow up in front of our eyes, and right now they are on another level. This is the best Black Veil Brides have been the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. This is this is a great EP. It really is. Fans, if you love Black Veil Brides, you're gonna love this EP. If you haven't listened to them before, give them a chance with this EP because it's good. They knocked it out of the park. Um, it is out on June 21st via Spine Farm Records. It's called Bleeders. It should be available on all of your streaming platforms, but for the love of God, support music. Go buy the damn thing, guys. It ain't going to be expensive. Go buy the music, support the art, and go check out a show because you know they're going to play some of this stuff live. Black Veil Brides, 9 out of 10 on the Bleeders EP.